Good morning, everyone. My name is Linda Jenkins, and I'm a motivational speaker and coach to new business and small business entrepreneurs. Thank you for joining me today. Please like and share this video accordingly. And if you're catching me on the replay, please mark on here pound replay so that I can actually have the opportunity to thank you personally. Sorry about that. Today we are going to discuss things that will help you make that sale. Now we're going to be talking about several different things. I have 6 main topics, and I think I have 1 or 2 extra ones at the end I'm going to throw in for you. They're freebies. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So when you're making the sale and you are standing in front of that person and getting ready to greet them, the first initial contact with that person, that is physical contact, is going to be the handshake. And so many times gentlemen forget they're they're getting ready to shake hands with a woman, or they're getting to ready to shake hands with an older gentleman or whatever. Please, 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 you are not in a wrestling contest. Please don't shake the hand too hard. Don't squeeze the knuckles. A lot of times people make their money on typing, and when you do that, it hurts them. I don't know how many times I've had gentlemen, when I've had to meet them for business, and I go to shake their hands, and they forget that they're not shaking a man's hand, and they literally crush my hands where they can sometimes hurt for, a few minutes afterwards. So please, feel the pressure that somebody else is giving you on your handshake and match that pressure, because you are going to run people off if you hurt their hand. It's not a power struggle, okay? You're not in a wrestling contest. So that's number 1. Number 2 is your posture, okay? When you're speaking to somebody, if you come in all drunk like this, they're not going to come to you. Please don't do that. Keep your back straight, have that little arch in your back, and keep your feet planted. Either have your ankles crossed or have your feet firmly on the ground, okay? Don't cross your legs at the knees where you're going to be showing up your skirt. That is very tacky, okay? People, it's just not right. Just don't do it, and then people won't think bad things about you. Especially if you're wearing a short skirt. If you're wearing a short skirt, please remember to cross your legs at the ankles. That's the proper thing to do. I know other ladies aren't going to appreciate that, but that's just how I feel about it. And I have several years behind me on working in the corporate office. So you don't want to start off on a bad foot. So please remember how you're sitting as a lady. As a gentleman, please, remember how you sit. You don't want to sit with your ankle on your, like if you're crossing your right leg, you don't want to have your ankle sitting on your knee, because then you're all exposed too. And if, God forbid, you have a rip in your pants, that's really tacky bad. Okay, so please, sit proper, keep your feet on the floor, or have your ankles crossed at most. Don't go overboard on that. The next thing is eye contact. Make sure that your eyes are up here, Don't have your eyes down below her chin. Let's just put it that way, okay? You always want to keep good eye contact with the person that you are speaking with, so that they know that you are actually paying attention to them and their brain inside their head, and not the body which they walked in with, okay? So remember, eye contact is a great thing, The next thing is charm. When you're talking to someone and you're really wanting to make sure that, you are having, a good conversation, your mom probably told you a long time ago, please, show the charm. The charm, is being able to keep that contact. As you're talking to them, tilt your head, raise an eyebrow, raise 2 eyebrows, smile a lot, laugh at their jokes, if they're proper and they're funny, interact with the person, small hand gestures. Don't go overboard when you're talking with your hand gestures, where you're out here like this, keep it simple, when you're talking to them, but also, a little bit will cause, interest a lot will cause, you know, so just be careful with your charm, but I think that you can do that. The next thing is introductions. Okay, introductions, when you are getting ready to go in for a job interview, a sales pitch, or whatever, you need to have your introduction for yourself or your company already made and practiced in your head. When you come in, you should be able to say, "Hi, my name is Linda Jenkins, and I am a motivational speaker and a coach to, you know, home business and small business entrepreneurs," and have it where it just rolls off your tongue. I know I didn't do the best job there, but you get my drift, okay? They know that you've at least practiced what you're going to say, which is a good thing because then you look more professional during your conversation with them. And you also want to be able to leave them with a good impression by repeating their name during the conversation, you know, and if they allow you, you know, you first should say, "Mr. Smith, do you mind if I call you John?" You know, don't take liberties with their names. They may prefer you to keep them as a professional person with Mr. Smith, okay? So always ask for permission if you're meeting them for the first time. Now, if you've met them forever, you know, situations change. Another thing is when you're speaking to them, you know, be careful, especially if you are from overseas. If you're from overseas and you are wanting to speak to someone, remember, you know, too much of this is too much, okay? And I know people from India and people from other Asian countries, you know, they have a habit of shaking their head up and down. Well, if in America, when you're shaking your head up and down to us, that means you are in agreement with what we're saying. It does not mean that you understand what we're saying. Okay? In India or in the Asian countries, you know, this means, yes, I understand. It does not mean that you agree with what is being said. So please be careful with your head shakes because that does mean something here in the United States that it does not mean in your particular country. Another thing is I'm going to go back one for just a moment, is the handshaking. In some of the Asian and other countries, it is not polite for women to shake hands with men. In that case, you know, do the 3/4 head bow. You know, show your respect if you feel that's necessary. But, you know, here in the United States, the women do shake the hands of the men. It's not a great big deal, okay? Just be observant of whatever your country is. And if you happen to be here in the United States, just know that that's something that they expect, you know. And there's nothing wrong with that over here. So just be consistent with the country that you're actually in. The next thing, that's number 6, is ask open-ended questions. If you ask just yes and no questions where you've put your descriptive in the question itself, then all you're going to get is yes and no questions. You haven't learned anything, okay? You need to be able to open a conversation and keep it rolling by asking them things that's going to get them to talk. Remember, you're not there for you to talk. You're there to hear them talk. When they talk, they're going to tell you how your business is going to actually be able to help them out. If you don't allow them their opportunity to speak, to them it's going to be a whirlwind and they're going to say, "I'm not interested." You're going to have to make sure that you practice open-ended questions that will get you the results that you want. If you're only asking closed-end questions, which is yes and no questions, you're not going to learn anything and you're not going to improve your sales at all. Okay? The next thing is, while you're speaking, this is number 7, repeat their name. Now, don't go overboard. Okay? Don't go overboard by repeating their names, but repeating their names, you know, 2 or 3 times during the conversation, that's not going to be a hindrance to the conversation at all. That just lets them know that you understand what their name is and their name is important enough for you to remember. Now, a lot of times, you know, you may not be able to remember their name. So one of the things I've done in the past is if I know I'm going to shake their hands with my right hand, then in my left hand, I'll just write down, like on the meaty part of my hand here, I'll write down their name. And then I won't ever let them see it, of course, but I will have their name either written right here or right here, you know, whichever one I feel more comfortable with. Usually if you write their name there, you can always, you know, kind of look real quick, you know, look down, get their name again, and then go back to talking to them. That's just a little bitty secret that I know. When you're talking to someone on the phone, use your notepad. Write down their name. You know, if you don't have it on your screen, write it down so that you can repeat their name. Remember also when you're on the phone, use a mirror. Your mirror is going to help you increase your charm when you're talking to them because you're naturally going to want to smile, correct? So remember that. Now, lastly, number 8, we're going to talk about your exit. How do you go ahead and get ready to leave? Well, the first thing that you're going to do is, you know, go back over the items that you have discussed prior to you leaving. You know, the main points. And then that way, in case they needed to add anything, and that's what you ask, the very last thing. You know, this is what we've discussed. This is how we've said that we're going to try to help you out. Was there anything else that you wanted me to add to this list so that I can follow up with you on Monday, Tuesday at certain whatever time it is and get back with you with the results that we can give to your company and ways that we can assist you in what your issue is. And then once you have done that, then you are ready to make your exit. Remember, you want to make sure you have a business card. If you have a resume, have already given them the resume. If you have proof of your work, if you have like a portfolio, you know, make sure that you have made a copy for them so that they have it on hand so they can say, oh, you know, this person really cared enough to go back and look. Also, make sure you use Indeed and you use Google and you use YouTube and you go out and you research that company. Make sure what you're trying to sell is something that they're going to be able to use. Find out what they do so that you can like cater your business into theirs. All of those things are going to help you get going, you know, and win that new contract, okay? So anyway, let's go back over real quickly the things that we've discussed today. See, I'm putting my own stuff to use. First, it was shake hands. Remember the pressure of the handshake. Don't get overboard on it. You're not in a wrestling match, okay? The next thing is your posture. Make sure your posture is straight. You know, your shoulders are more so straight. And my shoulders, I've had shoulder surgery, so I can't always put mine exactly straight. But, you know, hold your posture straight. Keep your feet on the floor or your ankles crossed. Please don't try to cross your legs, you know, especially if you're a larger person. Just keep your feet on the floor. It's fine. The next thing is eye contact. Make sure that you are looking straight at the person and not below their neckline, okay? The next thing is charm. Remember to smile. Remember to tilt your head. Remember to raise your eyebrows. Laugh at a joke. You know, have something funny, a funny story, anything like that. That's charm, okay? The next thing is introductions. Introducing yourself. Make sure you have a pre-planned introduction for yourself and your company, and you have a business card available. Don't just shove the business card in their hand. Ask them if they'd like a business card so that you can contact them later. You might even use that on the exit. The sixth thing is ask a question. Ask an open-ended question. Make sure you're not asking just yes and no questions. Make sure that you are asking questions that's going to require them to give you information so that you can make sure that the conversation is put into an aspect that will be best suited for your company. Don't go overboard. Don't be pushy, but try to find out as much as you can with your open-ended questions. Number 7 is make sure you repeat their name during the conversation. Number 8 is on your exit, make sure you have a pre-rehearsed exit so that when you're getting ready to leave, you are repeating exactly the main points of what you have discussed. And then also you repeat your name and what you do in your company. So again, my name is Linda Jenkins. I am a motivational speaker and coach to home business and small business entrepreneurs. It is my pleasure to have been able to help you out today. If you would, please like and share appropriately. And then also, if you are catching me on the replay, on the bottom, please put pound replay so that I have the opportunity to thank you personally for taking the time to watch me today. Until I see you again, love, peace, and keep. Until I see you again, keep love, peace, and joy in your heart. Have a wonderful day, and go Cowboys. See you later.